Hello!
Welcome to Bad at Board Games.
Well, he's bad at board games.
My name's Brad Blake,
And I'm Topher Ferguson.
and we're bad at board games, so you don't have to be. And today is the Super Bowl.
It's the Super Bowl.
It's our top 10 list of all time. It's as exciting as the Super Bowl. We charge about $1 million for every 30 seconds. Please subscribe down below.
He's funny. He's delusional.
$1 million over
funny.
a million years.
Maybe.
$1 a year.
Maybe. I am so excited about this list.
I am too. I'm curious to see what's happening. I'm surprised where my stuff's landed. So that's what I'm excited about. Share that. Like, wow, crazy year.
I know. Well, yeah. You especially have played a lot more games this year. You've played a lot more new games this year. I have not had a chance to play a whole lot of new games. I've played some. Some we've talked about. Some we only played once, so they didn't make my top 100 list or something like that. But I'm curious to see if either of us. So we don't know what's on each other's lists.
And we have them hidden.
We have them hidden. I had to tell Brad one of my games because it might be on his list. I wonder, especially those of you who have never been watching the channel or you have not seen our last list, you're going to probably be surprised. Maybe those of you who haven't, I'm curious if they're going to be surprised by our lists,
or if they'll find them stupid.
or if, well,
His
there
list.
there is that. There is that.
Mine are immaculate.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
So you've got, let me think, Terraforming Mars.
Absolutely not.
It's his #1 game of all time.
Never made my 100 list ever.
He just doesn't know good gaming. So I'm excited. I think this is going to be fun. Hopefully we won't talk too much about these games, but they are our favorite games of all time. So
buckle up.
Yes, we might get talking. I have a bottle of water just to be safe.
Toast's going to start us off.
Yes.
Did you know 70% of you aren't subscribed? Hit that subscribe button. We do fun board game stuff here.
So we're going to go with number 10.
Number 10.
Number 10. Number 10 is a game that I love to use to bring new people into the hobby, but I also love to play a lot. Obviously,
Cool.
It's number 10 of my top 10 list.
Yay.
So if you watch the channel, you've heard me talk about this game. It is Terraforming Mars. No.
That'd be a bit drop.
Yeah, right. It is Viticulture. Yes. And I am specifically going to go with the Tuscany expansion unless I'm playing it solo. Even bringing new people in the hobby, I think it's still, it doesn't add too much complexity. You need to play this expansion.
Yeah, I still haven't played it.
Yeah. But when I play solo, I prefer to play without this. So it just kind of depends on how we're playing. But Viticulture is just what I love in a board game. Worker placement, card or resource management, victory points, bit of an engine that you can try to get going, trying to get your wine and how you're going to get the production and, and then also multiple paths to victory. Obviously there's things you have to do in order to be able to win, but you can get your points in many different ways. And those are things that I think really kind of shine in a game that doesn't have complexity that's like 4.5 or 4 even.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So Viticulture is absolutely up on my list. I've been playing it for a little while. Might be one of my favorite Stonemaier games. Might be one of the best Stonemaier games that they've ever kind of put out. At least I would argue that.
I'll bet there's one higher on his list.
Okay, maybe.
Second best one for him.
Maybe. Yeah, maybe. It's funny though. I think this game goes much further in terms of who can play it and who I'd want to play it with than the other Stonemaier games.
Yeah, I mean, I enjoy this game more.
Yeah.
That's for sure. I think this is my favorite Stonemaier game.
I don't think you had another Stonemaier game on your list.
I think you're right.
Yeah. So you did have this one. So I forget where, but it was up there. So
Yep. Yeah, it's in the top 50.
Yeah.
Pretty sure.
I think it is. Yeah. Awesome. So that is mine. Tuscany, but Viticulture.
Awesome. So my number 10 is, this hurts because this is the only one I don't own. No, this isn't true. But I don't own this one.
Do I?
You do not.
Oh.
This is the one I was pretty sure is going to surprise him. So they kickstarted this again for another reprint, another expansion and stuff, and I still didn't buy it because I'm like, this game's expensive. My friend has it. I don't need it, but I really want it, and I keep wanting to play it. And it surprised me where it hit this year, and that is Dead Reckoning.
Wow.
I like
Top
that
10.
I like that game a lot.
Wow.
It is. I love the card building with the clear cards and going out and the way that you're able to do things. I think Dead Reckoning is amazing. I think it's amazing.
It is a fantastic game. It is a fantastic game.
I really, really, really like it, and I really, really, really want the deluxe version, but I really, really, really don't want to spend $250, $350 for it.
I wonder how it would play without the deluxe.
Yeah, not much, because you're barely using the coins, and you're barely using the barrels. It's not going to be that big of a deal.
You don't need all the dice towers.
But it's still hard to get at all. Yeah. So, anyway, I really like that. I've told Derek, I'm like, whenever you want to sell that, I'll buy it.
He likes that game a good bit, but he might very well sell it to you.
Yeah, probably not, but at least it's in the game group.
Yeah, I don't know where it falls on his lists in terms of interest. I know he likes it a lot. I really did enjoy that game. We played it. We played it a handful of times, and I knew it was high. I forgot that you hadn't talked about that game yet.
Yep.
Okay, so Toph's already surprised.
Told you. I couldn't believe where it landed, and I was like, "No, I want to play that game more. I want to play that game more now. After a whole bunch of times, maybe I won't want to play it as much, and it'll drop off to 10. But as of right now, I really like that game. I think it's a blast.
Yeah, it is very good.
You didn't have it on your top 10 or your top 100. I don't think. I don't think you talked about it. I think
I did. No, I did. I'm pretty sure I did. I guess I could search it. 79.
Okay.
Wow, that was high compared to your 10. Yeah, that's wild. Good game. The engine building, the cards, it's not gimmick. When I first saw it, we were first looking at it, I thought maybe it was a gimmick. I have cards games that have clear cards that you add to, but that one does it very well, and it's much more engine building with the cards.
It's strategic and all those things, and you can try to go wide, I guess, and just upgrade a bunch of cards, or you can try to really focus on a couple cards, and when they come up, then you get to do a lot. But no, I think it's pretty slick. You're basically building your own game at that point. You want to play this way, you start going with building your cards one way. You want to go another way, building them another way. I think it's really cool. So
I agree.
I like all that flexibility and the different ways.
And it's not overly complex either.
No, it's a little finicky to learn. Yeah. But it wasn't horrible. There was just some of those the area, not area control, but majority control, on when you're putting your cubes out on the different islands and things like that. But overall, it's not that hard.
No.
It wasn't hard to teach.
No. But it does have, and that's another thing I absolutely love about games, multiple paths, multiple ways to play. You can feel it out. You can have a strategy. You're good at strategy. So I think that fits perfect in your top 10. Yeah.
Yep. And being able to change those cards how you want, I think is pretty cool, because you can look out on the board and say okay, I want that card. I better try to race over there and get it with my ship. How do I do that? So it's pretty cool.
Nice.
Dead Reckoning was a surprise to me, and wasn't going to change it.
Surprise to me. I forgot you hadn't talked about it. I figured it would be 20 to 30.
Yeah, we just haven't played it in a while. But but as I was doing, I'm like, I'd rather play this than that. I'd rather this than that, and this and that.
Yeah.
So
if you're not, I think we mentioned this in the very beginning. We use Pub Meeple ranking and kind of went with it that way. So.
Yeah, and then you modify a couple here and there.
There were a couple that I modified that I was like, I don't know what I was doing when I hit that button, because that game shouldn't have been sorted, and it's 60. So off the list it went.
For the most part.
Yeah. Huh. Okay. Well.
Starting it off with a bang.
There we go.
What's your number 9? That was my number 10. We didn't say that. Dead Reckoning.
Yeah, number 10, Dead Reckoning. My number 9. How many do I have that are new on this list? My number 9 is a game that. Well, I'm just going to go ahead and show it.
I don't want to see it.
I mean, This is a game I could have brought multiple boxes for. I opted not to. What does that mean?
I'm just trying to think of what you have. I have an idea, but I thought you already talked about this game. Maybe you haven't.
Now I'm curious what he's thinking.
I'll tell you if I'm right.
Okay. So my number 9 game of all time
Was not that.
is Scythe.
That dropped quite a bit?
It has
I was
dropped.
going to say, like,
Yeah,
this was your, like, number 2 or something, or 3. Or top 5, at
It was
least.
top 5 last year. Let's see. Last year it was top 5.
Yeah.
Last year it was number 4. So this is
crazy up in here, bad at board games.
Yeah. So Scythe is I absolutely love this game, but I'm not going to play this with everybody. Like Viticulture, I would. Scythe is just this mental puzzle of what it is that you're going to do in terms of, building up, really honestly, an engine and building up your tableau, trying to kind of Cold War it out. And I think the thing a lot of people forget with this game is it's not a battle game. It's not a war game. It's not meant to really have a lot of combat. Combat's in it, but it's not much. It's more the story of building up and kind of Cold Warring it, going up and standing guard, keeping your lands, diversifying what you have, and really trying to build I hate to say civilization, but build a civilization that is working, that is churning for you things, building your engine, getting it going. It looks awesome. I have painted out all of my Scythe, and I think that helps me with the enjoyment of it because, sitting down and seeing everything, and obviously the appreciation of painting everything also. But it's a fantastic game. And then when they came out with the Rise of Fenris, which I did not get this when it came out, so I was late to the Scythe game, but I didn't pick up Rise of Fenris right away. I wanted to kind of have quite a bit of number of plays in under my belt. This campaign is awesome. Kind of, it sets the story. You get a bit of the story in the book, but then when you get into Fenris, you start to see what is really going on with the game, and kind of makes everything else just mesh well together. And you can do some pretty cool things once you've unlocked Scythe. Or, I mean, who cares if you are one of those people that don't care about like legends or story games, then open everything up and just play it. But it adds things into the base game that end up becoming a fun part of just playing Scythe if you want to just sit down and play with different things. So yeah, Scythe, it's dropped. I don't pull it out quite as much as I used to. I don't know why. Part of it's a huge box. And so I just brought the little like Fenris lid, but everything is in the big old box. And I think that just kind of makes it a little bit more difficult to carry around. But yeah, so that is my number 9.
Number 9.
Scythe.
Crazy drops.
Yeah, Scythe was
here.
not on your list this year either.
It's not. It's still a good game. Just not the one
it's not for you.
one I gravitate towards.
No, it's
but
not
I'll
for you.
play it. But if I have choices, I'll play something else.
Now we can all understand I do not have only Euros on my top 10 list.
No, I don't believe that. All right. My number 9. Dun, dun, dun. Castles of Burgundy.
I thought this would be higher for you.
Yeah. This one's number 9. So it was above 10 last year. It was like in my top 20, 11 to 20. But I got this, I didn't get the all in. But I did add it on the acrylics.
Worth it.
Yeah, the acrylics really were worth it. And then I bought the Etsy stickers so you could have all the words on the back of it, which is nice about the cardboard chits that are in the game. But I really like this game. I've got 50 plus plays in it. My wife plays it. I play it online. Everybody in the game group will play it. I think this is just a fabulous game, and up and coming designer. You may have heard of him. So,
once or twice. Yeah.
Last name Feld, first name Steven.
Also known as Stefan, not Steven. Stefan Field. Yeah.
It's a joke. It's called humor, Toph.
Yeah.
Welcome to the humor place.
Yep. But no, this is a great game. It was on my list somewhere.
Yeah. You had it like
19.
In 20, or you had it in the top 20.
Yeah. 19.
But I can't say enough good things. To me, this is your gateway Euro game. Once you want to start getting people into something that's Euro-esque, this is where I would take them. But you'll want to teach them after you learn how to play.
It's not just Euro-esque.
Yeah.
It is Euro.
Yeah. Well, I mean, but there's there's Lysirs and there's all these super heavy Euros, and like this kind of like starts to get people's brains attuned to that mechanism,
I agree
even though
with
it's
that.
different.
Mhm.
But they kind of start to understand, okay, I'm going to use this dice to grab something to then place it over here in queue. And then I use another dice to put it out here. And when I put it out here, that gives me something, right? Like it's this chaining of events that allows you to then do something. So it, starts to stimulate that thought process. But unlike a lot of other ones.
That's absolutely what I love in games.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
the puzzle. This one is very much also Euro in the sense of you have your own board, nobody's influencing it. And
Yeah, they might get tiles before you, so it's not completely
it's not
isolated. So
yeah,
it's, but I like that. I don't want to be I don't want a complete isolation game. Not that I don't like them, but you're trying to get to that before somebody else.
Yeah.
Hate drafting doesn't work in this game. I mean, you're going to lose if you just try to keep somebody from having something else. You have to get your engine going, and so that's a good thing about it. But if somebody starts taking ships, then you may have to pivot. If somebody's getting all the brown tiles that you want, you may have to start collecting goods. There's just different things, and there's different ways to win. But yeah, I love this game.
It's a good one. It doesn't take a long time to play. It's setup is it takes a little bit of time, but it's not, it's not setting up Kanban.
Right.
And getting a good box organizer could really help, or the big old box organizer in here a little bit better. But
it's better, but it's not great.
No, but it's still absolutely great game.
I haven't played the wine expansion, where that has the grapes yet, but in the next couple of months, I probably will pull that out and learn it and see how it adds to the game. I'm sure I'll like it. I just don't know if it's something I'm going to add to the game all the time.
Yeah. I love that they, like Awaken Realms, so they came out with the anniversary edition. So, I mean, the game's been out for a long time.
Oh, yeah.
And
it was just ugly as sin.
Oh, see, I love it.
I know. He likes the old, but like even the updated version with the burgundy box, I thought was still ugly. I'm like, it just needs to be prettier.
Which Awaken Realms can do.
Yeah. And now everybody seems to be on the bandwagon of making old game pretty.
Which, for good games, it's worth it. For games that are staples, like I think Castles of Burgundy is a game that almost everybody should have in their collection. You have it, and I almost still want to get a copy for my own collection just because it is such a staple game, such a good game to bring people into the hobby. It's kind of like viticulture for me. This is something you've taught a ton of people, this game.
Oh, yeah.
And it's always going to be around. I don't think it's ever going to go down. And maybe at some point somebody else will pick up and make a piece, but I don't know. Once Awakened Realms makes something that's about as nice quality as you're going to get in gaming, especially old Euros.
There you go. So that is my number 9, Castles of Burgundy.
Thank you, Stefan Feld. I don't think I have one of his games on my list. Well,
but he's a brand new designer. He just came out.
That's right. First game.
All mine are indie designers. Nobody's ever heard of them.
You are a liar. Okay, so my next game has fallen on my list.
Dun, dun, dun.
But I wonder if next year it's going to rise on my list.
Oh, I bet I know what this is.
You want to take a stab at it?
No, I'm going to wait. I don't want to ruin it for people. It fell on my list too, I believe.
Yeah. So I think it did.
Yeah.
I think you've already talked about it. My number 8.
Yep.
Cthulhu Death May Die.
That's my Cthulhu.
That's one of the most terrifying things ever. I'm building a wall. So, Death May Die, absolutely fantastic game.
Wish Toph would die. What?
If I do, I'm coming back and haunting you. Just poltergeist all the way. Just wait. Just wait. You're going to get Terraforming Mars everywhere in your life.
This is your number 1? What number is this?
No, this is my number 8.
This is number 8.
Number 8. So, Death May Die, the reason I love it is just it's chaotic fun for a group. It's like a storytelling action adventure. If you've been watching the channel, you know that I absolutely love almost everything that is Lovecraftian horror in games. I have other games that are Cthulhu or Lovecraftian. Yeah. They're not all on my top 100 list. But this one shines. I know it is not Arkham Horror. It is different. Same idea, same, universe. But the way that it works, the way that you're building out your tableau, the way that you are wanting to go insane so that you can upgrade things matches so well with the theme of the horror of Lovecraft. And so to be able to do that, to have so many different characters, even just in the base set, season 2 added more, season 3 and 4 will be here soon. The Unspeakable box will be here soon. We love this game. Both of us do. And everybody that I've played it with, I think for the most part has enjoyed it as well. It also looks great because it's been painted. Thank you, Brad. Well, season 1 was painted, season 2, not yet, but, it's just a lot of fun seeing it on the board, seeing the pieces. It is CMON, so you're going to get beautiful little figures, whether you paint them or not. It's still going to look great. The elder gods are big and bad and detailed, and they look like they are actually coming to kill you.
And the fact that you can play the same scenario with the different elder gods, like you buy the expansion, it changes it up
so much.
Even if you're doing the same thing, but with their little cultists are different, and then they're, there's the is it Star Child or Star something with Cthulhu?
Yeah, Star Spawn.
Star Spawn. But then every bad guy has their different little guys to go within their box. And it does change. And then how they trigger based on, the
Mythos deck?
Mythos, yeah. The Mythos deck, it changes based on which ones that you're fighting. So even though you're trying to put out the fire or trying to get the moonlight to the right place or something like that, scenario really changes up.
It does. Yeah. You've got a scenario box and you've got an elder god box. And so you pick which scenario box and which elder god you want, and then you shuffle the cards together between them. And so that changes. And then also just how that, even playing the same, play the first episode with Cthulhu, the way that those cards are coming out, the way that the episode cards are coming out for you to be able to have interactions with the board if you're in a safe space, those things all change it up every time you play. And then changing up your character because they have different abilities and different, I don't want to call powers, but
Oh yeah, but you feel more powerful. And then the characters are so different.
So different.
Well,
yeah.
I shouldn't say so different. You have so many, and some are like the glass cannons, and they're all different shades of,
And then which path are you going up on? As you go insane, you get to upgrade your character. And are you choosing to go up, which we do this quite frequently. We'll have the same characters that we usually play with, and we usually go the same routes because we know how well we can play with it. But opting to go with a different, what is that called?
Detective, hero.
Yeah, your traits, going up in different abilities with your trait. It just changes it up quite a bit. And this is a game that I enjoy to just be that person, like we've talked about with what's it called? Zombicide. I, for some reason, the person that likes to calculate risks and be strategic, just is like, I'm going for it. I'm doing it. I'm running into them all, and let's just see what happens. And I usually am the one that upgrades my powers to the point that I have lots of dice because it's fun to roll lots of dice, and I've got extra dice packs just because I want to. If I'm rolling 11 dice, I want to roll 11 dice. I don't want to roll and then re-roll some. And it's just so that makes it fun too, trying to get to that point of having the dice and the chaos and the randomness and not knowing what's going to go down. And it always, for some reason, comes down to the very last play of the game. I introduced this a couple weeks ago to my friends, Chris and Nikki, and it was the same thing. I died. I was out. I think Nikki was like, well, this is my last chance, and then I'm going to die. And Chris had one more shot left. And it was, when you're playing Cthulhu, at the end of the game, everybody's going to start taking insanity all the time. And he was on his last leg as well. It was down to literally the last turn, which is what it always tends to be. You live or die in the last moment of the game. I love that. Yeah. It's so much fun.
It's very cool. It's a great game. And yeah, it'll probably go up once we get the season 3 from Kickstarter.
Yeah, probably for both of us. So anyways, that is Death May Die.
Your number 8?
My number 8.
Your number 8. My number 8, I've been playing a lot of.
Yes. I looked. Sorry, y'all. I cheated.
Okay. Heat. Pedal to the Metal. I love this game. I think this game's great. I like it solo. I like it online. I like it in real life. I think it's great. I like how it honestly to me makes me feel like, racing in a way, going through the corners and trying to, go fast and take heat sometimes and then discarding your cards. The more you play it, the more you're going to realize you're just going to discard cards to get through your deck, to get back so you can get the heat and get it out of your deck and put it on your engine and such. And that's probably when you start looking at it from a mechanic standpoint versus like just the fun of the game. But, all of that stuff, choosing to go through the corner or not, or push it or not, to me, it has a lot of that race feeling that I enjoy, and it just sucks me in, and it's the easiest solo game I've ever played. Once you figure out how the champions move, because it's like before the yellow line or after the yellow line, and I don't think they explain it very well in the book.
They don't because it seems like every time we play with it, we're like, what was that again? Which way did?
But once you get that down, it's like flip a card, move those cards, and I always play with 6, regardless of if there's 2 people playing. We use the other 4 for the Autonoma, or I'm playing by myself, I'm playing against 5 other Autonoma, things like that.
Yeah, the Autonoma is
they've done a great job.
Yeah, stellar
job, and I'm looking forward to the water expansion or whatever they're having. Torrential downpour. It's supposed to be out this year.
Yeah, this is a good. This kind of feels to me the energy and excitement of like Death May Die, like the stress that you get, because you do feel that stress as you're getting to that corner. And like Brad said, it is a deck builder. You need to learn how to call your deck as you can. We can't really call it, but to
at the end of your round, you can discard cards from your hand.
Yeah, and you got to figure out, like, you can't just save a card because you're like, oh, that's a great card. Like, just it'll come back, unless in the next turn you're using it, it'll come back, and that, I mean, it comes down. This was another one that usually comes down to. Usually we are very close, you and I.
You squeak out wins on this one.
I do. I'm surprised because you're not too far behind, or you spend part of it
or something.
Yeah, you'll spend time ahead of me, and then something happens, and so this is a great game. I was looking to see where I had it. I have it at 13. Yeah. So I mean, it's
I really like this game a lot, and I wouldn't say I'm a racing board game fan. Like, this is the only one I can think of that is actually a true racing game. I know you have Downforce and some others. Those just don't interest me. I think Downforce is a little bit too mechanic-y driven versus real car feeling, right? Making you feel like a video game car, things like that. But I love this game. I think I highly recommend trying it, playing it. It's on BGA. There's a lot of different ways to play this.
I might be willing to play this one on BGA as well, because it kind of feels to me like a game that, I don't know. I struggle with BGA and playing games online, but like Viticulture was fun. Again, I don't want to play it. I don't know. That one's a little bit, maybe not. But this one, I think the idea of sitting there and all you have is your cards and the board, like, you could, I think, play it pretty well to get a good experience, to feel like you're playing.
You
I think
play
that's
that
the thing.
Solo and not have to worry about other people moving.
That's actually a great idea.
Like,
I might try
and you'll
that
not
too.
know the difference. You really won't. You'll be able to play it and just have fun, and you'll click on it and it's your turn. Your turn. However fast you want to go.
That's a great idea. I still have my premium membership, so I should give it a try. I've played like 5 games. I want to play Flamme Rouge. That's another one that's a racing game that I kind of just want to see. I don't want to buy it.
Same designers, or is it well, I don't know if it's the same designers, but I know it's based off of that, or they say it is.
Yeah, similar to it. You have Jamaica. That's got a racing mechanic.
But I don't care. Like, compared to
well, it's not the same feel.
Jamaica was on my list the first year we got it, but then it was kind of like, there's just all these other games, and it's a wacky race, but it still wasn't. I would rather play Cosmic Encounter to have fun and wackiness than Jamaica. And Jamaica's fun, but it's like, I laugh more. If I'm going to go for that kind of game, I
don't think of Jamaica as a wacky game. But
anyway,
I don't know. It
you're
is
moving
different.
forward, you're moving
different.
backwards. You're stealing treasures.
Yeah. Okay, I see what you mean.
It's a race around the island.
I see what you mean. Yeah.
So,
but
my opinion,
definitely much better than that.
Yeah. Number 8, Heat, Pedal to the Metal.
Oh.
Go check out my intro video.
I don't remember your intro video for that one.
Flames and rock music and all.
Oh, that's right. That was a good one, actually.
Yeah,
that was a fun one.
I'm proud of that one.
Yeah. I want to play Heat. That's such a fun game. Oh, it's such a fun game. Okay, my number 7, I think it It's changed positions. It was on my list last year.
Okay.
We're getting into good games. Oh my goodness, we're getting into such good games.
As though the other two weren't horrible.
I mean,
or 3.
I know. Like, really, all these games, top 20. I mean, I'm looking at. Gosh, anyways, okay.
Had to make hard choices here.
We did. Yeah, there were some hard choices. Actually, there was some really good hard choices. Okay, so this is Kanban EV.
This one dropped off my top 10.
I cannot believe this dropped off Brad's top 10. I thought this was getting closer to 1 for you. Like, y'all, this game is fantastic.
Yeah, it is. It's so good. This is number 8?
This is number 7.
Number 7. Kanban EV for Toph.
Yes, Kanban EV. So Vital Lacerda, one of my absolute favorite designers. Brad would say the absolute same. We love heavyweight games. Mm-hmm. This game is such a sweet spot of heavyweight, but accessible. And
more so than I think even the galleries.
Yeah. They're very different.
No,
yes.
It's just for me.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, no, actually, I don't know. I go back and forth with that, but the Gallerist is also another good, what I would say, heavier weight, but accessible. This is heavier than the Gallerist.
Right.
Definitely.
And that's what I'm saying. Just in my opinion, this was easier to play than the Gallerist.
It took forever to learn this, but this was also
weird.
This was also us kind of really starting to dive into heavyweight games. Yeah. And it plays so well. And from the very beginning, the first time Brad and I played through it, just two of us trying to figure out what's going on, it was like, oh my God, this is amazing. This is amazing. Oh my God, this is amazing. Mm-hmm. And it's worker placement, which I absolutely love. It is just such a great management of your tableau and what it is that you're unlocking and how you're moving through. It's thinking ahead, but not thinking too far ahead, because if you think too far ahead, you're never going to get your goal. So you are thinking 1 to 2 steps ahead. Okay, I need this, so therefore I'm going to do this. And that means that this turn I have to go here. Or maybe Sandra is blocking it. So now it's like, well, shit, what do I do? So
or the other people took the spot. If you're playing 3, 2 people could pick the same department, and then you can't go there, and where you're going to go and come back. And
it's just like the worker placement side of it. There's so few places you can go. And so it's just fun that tension of where it is that you're going to go. It's fun to see the tension of what Sandra is doing and how she's infecting the board, because that's just such a great aspect of this game to have it fight back in such a good way. And then the struggle of what am I going to do once I get to a department? Am I going to study so that I can get certified in this department? Or am I going to go do, that idea in itself, that's where you start to see the complexity come in. That's where I think Lacerda's games really shine, is the multiple things to do in such a, what almost seems like simple game.
Yeah. And I would say, like, I have a couple of negatives with this game, that, like the multipliers and some of the meeting things, but overall, this is a great game. I really love the mini games. So you have the different departments. I don't know if there's 6 or 5. I can't remember exactly, because there's the training one too. But
yeah, there's 6 total.
Yeah. But so, you don't have very many spots. So you're going to learn these 6 mini games, so to speak. And really it is, I'm going to this department. I can train in that department, or I can grab something. Yeah. Right. And it's just your resource allocating when you go to a department, and then you can test your car on a racetrack, it's these different kinds of things. And then you have your tableau where you're building out your garages and the cars you're getting there, and did you test drive them? And then there's a multiplier for that, based on how you set up the technology of each cars during the game. So if somebody else is making a car very expensive and you happen to get a bunch of those cars, then you're going to get a bunch of victory points, and you didn't do much of the work. Yeah.
That's one thing with Lacerda's games I found, is you can piggyback quite a bit in most of his games. Yeah. I also love, like, you think of it, I don't know cars well, Brad does, but you think, okay, well, I need this, so I got to go get the plan, then I'm going to go get the part, then I'm going to go, to assembly,
and then put it on the track and test it.
Yeah. So you think of like an order, but you can never do this game in order. Like you can't just say, I'm going to do this car, work on it, get it done, put it in your tableau, go get the next one. You cannot do that. You have to manage the entire production facility and all of the different departments that are working together, so that you can eventually start getting cars in your tableau.
And then make sure your department's up to snuff. Otherwise, Sandra gives you a negative,
Yep.
So.
Yeah. I usually go heavy training for some reason. And I think I'm afraid of like the penalties. Like that always comes to me as like, oh, I don't want to get hurt. I don't want to get, this downfall. And it's not much. You just lose some points, which you're going to gain back. But it's still, I don't know. There's something in me that is like, I always want to do training. So I always feel like I'm behind in the game. And then all of a sudden I feel like I can shoot ahead.
Yeah.
And, but this is also my style of game. And so I understand when I'm playing it that other people play it different ways, but I usually am okay and comfortable with being behind because I know I'm building an engine and my engine is going to scream at the end of the game if I play it right. So yeah, it's beautiful. Ian O'Toole, fantastic artist. I know there's other Kanbans, so you can get driver's edition, you can get the regular Kanban. I think there's minor differences that maybe won't affect it too much, but really it does shine in Kanban EV for so many reasons. So anyways, that is my number 7 game of all time.
My number 7. I believe this is dropped.
Should I close my eyes?
You don't have to.
I won't look this time.
I'm going to put all my boxes on the floor.
I'm not looking, I promise.
Movie in a box.
Oh, Nemesis. Nice.
Dun, dun, dun.
Sorry, I stole the thunder and said the game name.
Nemesis is my number 7. Love this game, love the experience. I don't have the lockdown after this. I don't have any expansions. I did not back the newest one, which looked interesting, but like I'm buying this game to replicate Alien the movie, and I like that, and we enjoy that, and we have fun with that. If I ever get a chance to play one of the other two, just to, like, am I experiencing that great? But, not cheap. And I spend enough on board games. I don't need to go spend another $150 or more on 2 other versions of the same game.
Unless they're Great Western Trail
but I don't spend $150 on them.
Well, that's true. Yeah.
Yeah. That's true. That's the thing. It's like, like at some point, I do have some shelf control. So this is where it's at. Maybe if I get, 20 plays of this in and I want another version of this, then I'll branch out. But
I don't know what the other expansions do that, like, what they add to the game that makes it different than this.
Well, they're standalone. They're not even expansions. Like Lockdown is another board game.
Okay.
You don't need this.
Okay.
And then there's the newest one they just kickstarted, which really kind of changes things. And the everything's smaller, and so it's more like, kind of felt like playing StarCraft in a way because you're getting swarmed. So it's not just one big alien.
Okay.
It's like can be a bunch. You can shoot down the hall and things like that. So it did seem interesting, but I was not happy with my last Awakened Realms.
Yeah.
And so I'm going to wait.
we don't play this a whole lot, but when we do, it's like the whole group. You may play it more than we do as a group, but it seems like every time this comes out, it's like the whole group is like, we've been waiting to play this.
Yeah,
like,
it's fun.
Yeah,
and I understand people don't like it, but I think it's another one, like I talk about Star Wars Rebellion. If you like Star Wars, you'll probably like Rebellion. If you like the Alien franchise, you'll like Nemesis. And having that hidden traitor in there, I really recommend, because you may or may not choose to be a hidden traitor, but you choose that, after the first alien's found and things like that. And it's pretty slick.
And it's got quite a bit of game in it. So if you're not somebody who loves Alien, the movie, the franchise, you might still really enjoy this game. Like, I enjoyed Alien. I'm not a diehard Alien. I can't tell you the last time I watched the movie. It's been a long time. But this game is awesome. And while I do remember parts of, because I've seen the movie a handful of times, I do remember parts of it. I don't think you need to really be able to play it, although it does help with understanding some of the things that are going on.
Like you just can't kill, you got 2 bullets and you may not kill the alien. Like that's more realistic to the movie. Like at least the first one, like they couldn't kill it. Yeah. How do you go about killing it and all these things?
What I love about this game is the tension of, usually Brad gets the alien with him in a room. So just the tension of running away if you can,
and then
or
trying to get to a med lab or something, surgery to heal yourself. It's so hard. I get to move one. I've been wounded twice, and you're just trying not to die.
And then there's Alex, who wants to do nothing but jettison someone from an airlock.
It really wouldn't matter who. If you're in the airlock and he finally has the control of it, you're gone.
You're gone.
He just wants that to happen in a game. It's his goal.
This is a fun game. This is an experience of a night when we have it with Game Group.
Yep. So I really like it. I really recommend it. I've painted everything. I like the way it looks.
I forgot you painted this one.
Oh yeah.
Because you painted this before I knew you. And so
Yeah.
I've only played it with Brad. So I guess I just kind of assumed that it was painted.
No,
like
I
that
painted
it
it
came
all.
that way. Yeah. It looks awesome.
Yep.
Now I want to play that one.
So that was my number.
That was your number 7. My number 6 is a game that Brad and I both own. So that narrows it down a little bit.
But we don't. Well, I actually doesn't help me own.
Oh, okay. Well, I own more of it than Brad does, and I've played it a whole lot more than Brad has.
That doesn't help me at all then.
And that is number 6, Arkham Horror, the card game.
Yes.
So I just brought an empty expansion box. All mine is kind of sorted in a big old box. But this game is, I do think it's the best Arkham Horror. Arkham Horror 2nd Edition is one of my favorite gaming experiences I've ever had. Brad hasn't had that moment yet with me. He hasn't played 2nd Edition. I've had times that I've loved that game. I've had times I've hated that game. It's a cult game, you know, and Brad may hate it. I think he would enjoy parts of it. I think he would get overly frustrated with the fiddliness of it because there's a lot of that in it. The card game, yes, it still has some fiddliness to it. It's well thought out in how everything plays. It's a scenario instead of having like the big box or the big board of just like 2nd Edition Arkham Horror or even 3rd Edition they tried or any of the other in the universe of Arkham Horror. This one, the only downfall to this game is that you're going to play a scenario as opposed to playing the whole board game where you're going to get everything all thrown together. So you're playing a scenario, and after a while, you're going to know that scenario if you keep playing it. So you've got to, this is Fantasy Flights or any of the living card game things, you got to keep buying new expansions for it so that it's new and fresh. But those expansions, like this is Path to Carcosa, this is where we see Haster come out, you know, the King in Yellow, and you see a theme, a very deep theme with the expansion boxes that come out. And so Brad and I have only played the base box. I don't think I
haven't played any of the extras with you.
Okay. I'm going through the expansions in chronological order as when Fantasy Flight brought them out. I know some people are buying them in other orders. You know, this is said to be a really good one. And the last one, the Dunwich, people were saying wasn't quite as good. I had loved Dunwich a lot. I've played it now, I think, a couple of times at least. This one is a lot of fun. It's a very different feel. And then you've got some of the newer ones that are coming out that it's, you know, people are raving on that they're either really good or they're raving on it is really not worth it. Don't buy it. But at the same time, they're like, this is my favorite game of all time. So it's kind of interesting to see how people are talking about it, but really getting down to play it. I absolutely love. I think you have to have a good system of organization because otherwise it's going to take 5 hours to set up a game that's going to play in 45 minutes. And that's a complaint that a lot of people, including you, have with the game, and rightfully so. That's an issue. You're looking for very small little icons to see, okay, this card goes in this deck and this card goes in this deck. Now let's shuffle this deck. And then it's just trying to separate it all, get ready for the next game. It takes a long time. But if you have good organization, which BGG has, people have uploaded good
ways to do it.
Yeah, box organizers, things. Then it makes sense. And it works and flows pretty quickly, and I can set up quick, play a game solo, and then be done with it. And so that's one of the things I love about this game a lot. I like playing it solo more than with other people, but I am happy to sit down and play this with other people. But I think this one shines as a solo game.
Very cool.
Yeah. So
I think it's a great game. It's not my living card game of choice, but you can't. I don't know. Maybe you can. I cannot buy all of them. So you kind of pick one and you go, and if you like it, you go deep into the game.
You do. And like with Fantasy Flight, they've got like the 3 big ones. So Marvel Champions, which Brad kind of gravitated to, Arkham Horror, which I gravitated to, and Alex is playing this. Alex really loves the Marvel Champions, but he also has the Lord of the Rings. And so he's working through that one. And so it's fun to see him enjoy that one. He enjoys the others as well. I have not played Marvel Champions enough to say that I understand it or I like it. I wish I did. I would love to play it because you love it so much. I don't want to buy it because I could buy another expansion set with it for this, and I love this game. So,
but your starters can give you an idea if you like that. But
this
is a better story. Like if you watch Shut Up and Sit Down, and they'll be like they'll rag on Marvel Champions. It is not the same game. They really shouldn't be compared.
Mm-mm.
This is a story-driven game that they use cards for. Marvel Champions is a boss battler. They're different. It's just different. This actually has a map that you're laying out with cards. So to compare them really isn't fair. Yeah. They're by the same company, and they're card games, and they're called living card games. But other than that, they're not the same.
No. So. I think when I first played Marvel Champions, I think I went into it assuming it was like a skin of Arkham Horror.
Yeah.
And it's not at all.
Yeah. You're not laying out a city, and you're not going around the city trying to find the villain or doing anything like that. Then it would be the same with a different
this game
on it, but this isn't it.
I don't know Marvel Champions enough. I think the idea is the same. You're building a deck, right? Like your character.
Well, they give you characters, and then as you get better at the game, you can upgrade them.
Okay.
Or you can just make your own deck. Yes.
Okay. So Arkham Horror is the same way. So you start with a starter deck. So there's 5 races in the game, and so you pick which one or ones that you want to play. But then the deck building is really kind of shining as you get to know the game. You can say, well, I want to play with this character, and that character has limitations. They may only have cards in like 2 areas, not all of them. But you can go through and you can say, well, I want this and I want this, and try to synergize a deck. Or hundreds of people have put their own decks online. So you can just go online and copy their decks and see how they play. And that's a lot of fun. I have not done that quite as much as I want to eventually. I think once I start getting tired of the scenarios, then the freshness is going to be, okay, well, let's just go crazy. Let's just try different things in terms of the deck building. But for now, I'm still enjoying them. First box of this, scenarios aren't great. So keep that in mind. If you enjoy it, you're going to probably enjoy more the Dunwich.
Yeah, and I liked the first box. So, it just gets better. I think is what you're saying.
That's it.
I wouldn't say don't take it as like, oh, the first box is bad. The first box is good. I like the story. So
yeah. Alex,
it doesn't get you very far.
Alex just texted
quickly.
Yeah, you are. Alex just texted me last week and said that he played the last scenario in the first box, and so he was excited, and so he was getting ready to pick another expansion. I think it was one of the expansions I don't have yet, and so that's fun. They also have standalone little things, which I think Marvel Champions did something like this, where you can just kind of play this one-off thing and just go wild and fun with that. So you can step out of the story.
Yeah.
So, anyways, that's my number 6.
All right, my number 6, and let's see. This may be the last of. We may have to split this video up into a 10 to 5 and 10 to 6 and 5 to 1 based on how we're talking. We'll see. I have all of this except one. Toph snuck in and bought one of them. But this is my number 6, and if anybody remembers, this was my number 1 2 years in a row.
I did not bring mine, so I have Argentina.
So he has Argentina. We have Rails to the North. That's our least favorite. New Zealand. So if you've watched our which one do we prefer best, go watch that, and that'll tell you which one we like the best. But I like New Zealand the best right now.
And what's the game?
Sorry, Great Western Trail number 6 is dropped 5.
I can't believe this because it went from number 1
to number 6.
That is insane.
Yep.
That's insane.
Yep.
Wow.
This is a great game, but there's just other games I like playing right now more. Like I love this game. I really like this game. But if I'm, as I was sitting there going through it, there's just some other games that I'm playing a lot. Like,
yeah,
pick this over them. So.
So Brad and I, we talked about this. I had to. I was like, what are we doing with Great Western Trail? Because I figured both of us would talk about the game. And since we've now played all of them. So yeah. How are we ranking them? Are we putting them all as together as one? Because they are a little different. And we do have rankings as to which one's our favorite of them.
Yeah. And that's why you can go and pick. Like, you can't go wrong with any of them, in my opinion. You want the harder, crunchier one, go with Argentina. You want the classic, go with Great Western Trail 2nd edition. You want where we think it's a nice, I think it's almost an entry level way to play is New Zealand, but I say that tongue in cheek. Like they're all right around the same level. Argentina is harder.
Yes.
It's a heavier weight, right? These two are pretty close to the same. I would almost introduce somebody to New Zealand before I would introduce them to second edition, because they get rid of the train mechanism that you kind of like can confuse new players.
Yeah, and it adds a different complexity, but that complexity is not as much as the train.
Right.
So
we really liked New Zealand a lot. So that is my number 6.
That's awesome.
And you've gone your 6, right?
I have done my 6. Yes.
All right.
So there we go.
So what do you think? And don't hate us for turning this into 2 videos. They may come out the same day. They may be out one than the next. But
we just can't shut up about our favorite games.
Yes, we're talking lots.
Yeah, it happens. It happens, y'all. These are our favorite games. So if you enjoyed this, give it a thumbs up. And if you are not subscribed, do so now so that you see numbers 5 through 1.
Just remember, no matter how you play, whether it's solo, with family, or friends,
enjoy whatever games you are bringing to the table.
Have a great night.